Hello, everyone. It's Thursdays at 3. Today is already September 16th, right around the corner. It's going to be October already, halfway through September. I'm your host, Jason Crespin, Thursdays at 3. So glad you guys are joining us today. We'll talk about everything going on at ALT this week. And we got a show. A show's opening up this weekend. We're very excited to talk about that. We have two of its stars with us today that we will get to shortly. But before we get there, we want to congratulate. There's nothing like a good day around the theater, especially whenever a cast list comes out, because that means that we are doing more and more theater. We want to congratulate the cast of Defying Gravity there. That will be Miss Kara Limer's ALT directorial debut with us. She has a great cast list there. Congrats to everyone. And thanks for everyone who auditioned and all that good stuff. You guys, I know she had a ton of options, which is great. But we love having another show right around the corner that's going to be coming in, and that'll be at the Adventure Space, of course, in November. So congrats to Kara and the cast of her Defying Gravity. A lot of people think it's like the Wicked the play. No, it's not Wicked at all. Nothing to do with Wicked whatsoever. But it's going to be a great show, and we're excited about that cast list. I'm going to shut this door real quick. I forgot my AirPods, so it's a little noisy in the lobby. Also, Sherlock Holmes, the Academy production, they've started rehearsals this week. They've had already, I think last night was their first blocking rehearsal, which is great. And so congrats to them and Miss Michaela, who's working hard on that show as well. And speaking of our Academy, I believe I just found out our show choir, the Showstoppers, they are going to be singing, I believe, at the Sod Poodles this weekend. I think they're doing maybe the national anthem, which is awesome. So you guys break a leg. But we, of course, are talking about Sound of Music today. The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music. Before we get our two awesome stars that are going to be a part of this production, we want to let everyone know, of course, that Sound of Music runs September 16th. That's today through October 3rd. This is, of course, a joint Academy production. So our Academy kids are involved in this show. It's going to be a fantastic show. We're very excited about it. But we also want to let you know about, just in case you haven't heard, that during the course of Sound of Music, if you and we'll reveal the drink name here in a little bit, but visit the bar while you're at the show, because if you would like to, you can all of the tips that we normally collect at the bar during Sound of Music are going to go to our friend, Mr. Jeff Jarnigan, for his kidney transplant fund. So if you have not heard yet, I know this is on Jeff's social media and stuff like that, but we have some information there, of course. We'll be taking any sort of donations there in the tip jar, and then his Venmo QR code is right there as well. So this will be at the counter of our specialty cocktail and the bar area of Sound of Music. So give that a visit. If you can give, that'd be great. I know Mr. Jeff would definitely appreciate all the help that he can get. We're glad to be able to help him as well. Hello, Mr. Braden. Glad you're watching. I'm so excited. I'm coming Saturday. Awesome. We're so glad that you're going to come see the show, Braden. That's great. Well, let's go ahead and bring in two of our special guests today. One of them has gorgeous, just beautiful, basically an addition of facial hair that is just fantastic. And no, we're not talking about Hannah Green. No, we're talking about Mr. Brooks Boyett. Let's bring on Hannah Green and Brooks Boyett. Hello, guys. I guess I'm backstage as I was saying gorgeous and stuff. Brooks was like, oh, he's talking about Hannah, but no, little spin on that upper stash right there. That's a good one. Fantastic. Brooks, when are you going to get ready for the show? Your facial hair for the show? I know this was just you just wanted to do this just for fun. And
just for fun. I just like walking around with a mustache. I figure, I guess I'll do something different for tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. First off, Hannah Green, Brooks Boyett, and and his mustache. Fantastic.
It needed some billing.
Yes. Remind us, who do you guys play in The Sound of Music? We'll start with you, Hannah. Who are you?
I am Frau Schrader, or Elsa Schrader, in the show.
Yes, the Baroness.
The Baroness.
Oh, I love it. And then Brooks, who are you playing?
I'm Uncle Max Detweiler, the guy that runs that causes issues, I guess.
It's kind of funny. It's like, why does Max show up? You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't really think. he's just a good friend of the family.
Good friend of the family who's just good about, mooching off of all his friends.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. We all have one of those probably in our lives somewhere.
We all have one of those, and Uncle Max is that for Captain Von Trapp.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. How do you guys feel about you guys have an audience tonight? What?
It's absolutely nuts. Like the rehearsal process has seemed both so short and so long at the same time. And I think a lot of it actually relies on having an audience, having those laughs, and having those moments. So I am so excited.
Yeah.
Sure. Last night was one of those moments where I turned to Jacob and I was like, "Okay, we need an audience now. Like, we need to start hearing some feedback."
Yeah, we need that.
So I'm excited.
That character response from the audience. One of our great friends, Shelly Stapp, says, hello, Shelly. We're glad you're watching as well. And you guys are right, because the rehearsal process for you guys kind of short, because we, of course, lumped your scenes together. You know what I mean? Hannah, you kind of come in. Well, both of you come in halfway through Act 1, basically. Mm-hmm. And then Hannah has early out in Act 2 kind of a moment. So your scenes kind of we compacted. I remember looking at my rehearsal schedule, and it would be like, oh, today is the Elsa and Max night, because it was like all of your scenes we would rehearse all together in like 1 minute. And so there's our good pal, Mr. Alan Shankles. I love it. But we've had so much fun with you guys, because really I think you guys kind of help bring some comedy into the scenes, and breathe new life halfway through Act 1. It's like, oh, there's some new characters that come in, which has really been fun. One of your fellow co-stars right there, Jacob Miller, says Hannah and Brooks are the best. Love them. Fantastic.
Oh, we love Jacob.
We love Jacob.
Jason on that note. Okay, that's going away. So with you guys, okay, let's first talk about auditions. When you guys heard The Sound of Music was being done at the Little Theater, were you like, oh, this is a show I might want to put my name in, I want to maybe audition for? Like, what was that process like?
Brooks, do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Fine. Yeah, I've always loved Sound of Music from the time I was a kid, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll try audition. And I was going to be out of town the week of audition, so I went on my way to ask you, and I thought, hey, Max would be something I could do. But then I was, as I looked at it, I was like, oh no, in the movie, Max doesn't sing. In the stage production, Max sings. Yeah. So I lowered my odds a lot on whether
from the movie they were like, let's take these out.
Yeah. And so that was a little nerve-wracking on that end, because I'm not super comfortable with that aspect of things. And so but yeah, I was excited. I wanted to be a part of it just because I've always loved Sound of Music from the time I was a kid.
Yeah, I love that. Hannah, what about you?
Sound of Music was more, I think, auditioning for it of a challenge for me, stepping out of my comfort zone. I am very comfortable in contemporary musical theater, and this is all classical work. And so it was more of definitely a challenge for me, just to see if I could even do it and succeed. And I did. And so it's cool. It's really cool that opportunity presented itself as it did, and that we're able to even do live theater.
Exactly, and it's fun hearing you sing. I mean, gosh, you had some crazy high notes in this show. Like, oh my gosh, it was just fun hearing you explore that part of your voice, because I have not gotten to really hear you sing like that. So that's been so much fun just to hear you each night and nail it every night. For those audience members who may not be familiar with Sound of Music, P.S. Did you know our production assistant Velvet Knight has not seen the movie? She had no clue. Yes, I was like, what? Oh my gosh! So, just to let you guys know, a lot of you are familiar, of course, with the 1965 movie starring Julie Andrews. It was made from a musical before that, Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Of course, that was in 1959. And the role of the Baroness Elsa and of course Max, they kind of made them a little bit smaller in the movie. They filled it out with other elements of the musical, and you guys have two great songs that you guys do with Captain Von Trapp. So like you, Brooks, you were like, wait, I didn't know Max sang. So I think a lot of audience members too, when they come, are going to be like, oh, I'm surprised that I didn't know these numbers were a part of the show. So that's going to be, I think, fun for our audiences to have something new for them.
Hopefully it's fun.
No, it will be. It will be, I promise. Another one of y'all's co-stars, Callie Kilburn, says, "I love Brooks and Hannah. You guys are the best." And then she added, "And I love Jason as well." And now Jacob's also sucking up. I love Jason. Fantastic. I love it. With this show, and obviously, let's backtrack a little bit. Hannah, the last thing you did at the Little Theater was Anything Goes, correct? That was your ALT debut.
Yes.
What have you been doing since then? We haven't seen you on our stages. You've been busy on other stages. What have you been doing?
Oh gosh, I finished my education at WT, so that took up most of my time doing their shows, and getting my degree. And then this past summer, I actually did Texas, which was 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, in 120 degrees in the canyon. And so that's been it. Trying to find new opportunities.
Yeah,
and sweating my butt off.
And it's funny, you're right. So Hannah had she was able to audition the first night, but then couldn't come because of callbacks. We're on United Texas, so then you had an afternoon callback. Brooks had auditioned early because he was out of town. So me and Jennifer really saw pieces of everyone's different parts and like fit you guys together. You guys, I mean, knew each other. Brooks, you were also in Anything Goes. Brooks, was that your first show as well?
That was my first show, yes.
Nice. I love that. And then, of course, since have done musical comedy Murders of 1940, Legally Blonde. And so with this show.
Baskerville was my last one.
Baskerville, yeah.
Right before the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which is insane. With both of you, do you guys prefer musicals? Do you prefer more plays? What do you feel more comfortable in?
I'm definitely more comfortable in plays. Definitely. But musicals are a whole lot of fun. The musicals I've done in the past, though, I've been in the ensemble, which is, there's nothing more fun than being in the ensemble of a musical.
We can't forget that mullet that you had in Legally Blonde.
And yeah, I had a mullet in Legally Blonde. That was great. And I had a mustache in that, but I just glued it on because it was just for the second.
Yeah, true.
But I couldn't grow it at intermission. But I'm definitely more comfortable in a play. But musicals are a lot of fun. This has been a different experience.
Yeah. What about you, Hannah?
As far as comfort goes, musical theater is just fascinating because it's the most vulnerable you can be on a stage. You're just kind of bearing your heart and soul to people. But I would have to say musicals are my comfort zone because I got my degree in it. But I love doing plays. They're just two completely different worlds, really, realms of theater.
Well, and the Wolves at WT or Our Town. Gosh, you were so great in Our Town as well. And so you've been a part of some great plays, and which lends itself so much to this show because your character development. Both of you have done such great work with your character development with this show. Malia, one of your other cast members, says they have the catchiest songs I've ever heard. Brooks and Hannah are an amazing powerhouse duo. It's true. You guys are a great powerhouse duo. We'll just have to figure out other shows that you guys can pair up as like, I mean, that also have great mustaches. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It's a requirement.
Now, have either of you been a part of Sound of Music before, like in high school or?
Sound of Music was actually my first ever musical to do.
Was that at Canyon High? Yes,
I was a nun.
You were a nun. I saw that production.
A nun.
Yep. Marissa Hernandez was, I think, Maria in that, I believe.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, that was, I think, the reason why I went back down and saw it. That was a great show. But Brooks, no Sound of Music for you?
No Sound of Music for me.
I would have thought like Sunny would have made your whole family like jump around on around a fountain reenacting the movie.
I mean, I've always wanted her to make us matching clothes out of our curtains, but she hasn't done that. She could, but she hasn't done it yet.
You have behind you right now are lovely. I think that could be.
No, I could make those into a dress. That would be great. Sweater vest for me.
I wish there was a time when, if we had all the money and time in the world, I wanted to have some sort of contest for the community where people would have to make clothes out of their curtains and like do a fashion runway show at the theater and see who can make the best costume out of repurposing. Wouldn't that be great? I think that'd be awesome.
And the winner gets to have theirs on stage. The family wears them on stage.
Yeah. They get to wear it to opening night of the show. I love that. Obviously, you guys have both made your ALT debuts in Anything Goes, and you guys know what it's like to be a part of, be the first show out of the gate, and be the new person. We have so many new people in our show. What's it like working with so many new people and kind of introducing them to how we do things at ALT?
It's been a lot of fun. We've got some fun new guys backstage. The interesting thing of all the new people, especially with the nuns, we never really rehearsed with them or even saw them until 2 weeks ago. And then when we saw them 2 weeks ago, we had masks on like the entire rehearsal process. So I saw brand new people on Monday because we had our mask off. I was like, I didn't know that person. That's not what I thought she looked like. So that's been pretty.
It's true.
A new dynamic.
Nuns have their own rehearsals. You guys have had rehearsals. The family have had rehearsals because the show's divided up pretty well. And so you're right. Until we started putting everything together, it's like, wait, who are you? And then the rest of your face, and it's like, I didn't know you.
Last week,
you have braces. I was like, I forgot you have braces. Yeah.
Well, I grew a beard, so I wouldn't walk around with a mustache the last couple of weeks, and I had my mask off I think Friday, and Hunter, or Maria was like, "You have a beard?" We've been rehearsing together for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. It's so true. Hanna, what about you with our awesome new people making their debut tonight on our stage? It's so exciting. And some of them are like making their acting debut. Like, I've never done a show before.
It's so cool. Obviously, I mean, it's been 5 years since they did Anything Goes, and so I'm almost considered a newbie even to the ALT stage with the cast that we do have, and it's so cool. And everybody that is in the cast is so welcoming and is just so eager to perform and eager to work with you. Yeah. And it's just a bunch of people that build you up and, don't let your work go unnoticed. So it's very, very cool to be surrounded by them.
Rob Attaway and Hugh Fristow, I've seen with those guys, and it's their debut, and they're great. And they're a lot of fun backstage, but they are so good as mean Nazis. They do a great job.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. All of the bits that you guys have been fantastic. They've been just, oh my gosh, they've been raising the bar, and you guys have all been just kind of like, it's not at all a competition, but it's like somebody will do something good and then just builds it and builds, and then all of a sudden we have this great scene. Look at that. Rob Attaway's even watching. He says, shucks.
And I told him it can be concerning when a worship pastor is a good Nazi. So
exactly.
Did you know that he actually speaks German in the show?
It's like insane. Yeah. Like, and Larry Verneau has his degree in German. Like, all of these awesome people who are in so much knowledge of this time period. And yeah, it's really great. Jennifer Darrington, one of our Academy parents who has 2 kiddos in the show, says, I cannot wait to see this show. So excited. We can't wait for you to see it either. We've kind of been secretive when it comes to our set. We haven't really shown many pictures of that because we feel like our set is its own character, how we're able to kind of transform a basic kind of shape of a set into multiple different locations, which I think is really fun and magical. Tana and I, when we talked about it and what we wanted, and she just did a great job. Greg Dunlap, of course, executed it so well with our tech team of Noah Lang and Brandon Kampumi. And man, I mean, painting trees. They were painting trees up until this week, finalizing all the details because we kept wanting it just so perfect, as perfect as we can make it. Let's talk about, for you guys with your characters, whenever you guys approach these characters, of course, it's super easy. Like, for example, the Baroness, it's super easy just to make her one note and where she's a villain and nobody likes her. But Hanna, you have found so many truths and so many, where at times we root for you and or at least we feel compassion for you and different things like that. And then Brooks, of course, you have this great energy on stage that you just can. I mean, if we wanted to, we could just let you just run wild and in Baskerville where you can totally do that. You know what I mean? So how do you guys balance that? Well, but Hanna, how do you develop your character? Brooks, how have you developed your character?
I remember you told me early on in the process, I think it was our first rehearsal, you said that there's this realm, I think it was you and Jacob, you said that there's this realm of the interwebs that are saying why didn't Captain Bob Trapp pick Elsa? He should have picked Elsa. So there was a good foundation there of her character just because people were already rooting for her.
Sure.
But I think she has so many levels, and there's got to be a reason that she is the way she is. Like, she's a little bit bitter,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think so. It was
Something
easy to find those levels.
something happened in her past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not something good, like
Mm.
the couple sing about after you leave, but
No.
definitely something maybe happened. What about for you, Brooks?
Yeah, yeah. The musical does rein me in because you've got a lot. There's a lot. We got to keep things tighter than I would in other shows. You know, I tend to go off. I kind of look at Max as he has three priorities in this world. He's number one. He's the number one priority.
Yep.
The Cultberg Festival that he puts on, the musical festival he puts on,
Yep.
is number two in his life. And then way down lower than that are the Von Trapp family and Elsa.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's Germany, the Nazis are running through Europe, about to overtake Austria, and his only concern is that he puts on a good music festival.
Yeah.
So that's not how to look at him. He's very myopic. It would be the way to put it.
And the fun thing with y'all's characters too is you guys both are driven to get what you want. You know what I mean? And in your scenes, Hanna with the Baroness, she has a goal and she has an agenda. And same with Max, has an agenda, and you guys both know each other's agenda. And sometimes the other one's trying to get in the way, or you have to kind of rein the other one in back and forth. And I love that. I feel like the Baroness and Max are like the ultimate hashtag besties. Like they just do this at all the other houses. They're like, okay, that didn't work at Captain Von Trapp. Let's go with this next.
Yeah, let's go to another rich person's house.
See if we can make it work. I wish there was a Sound of Music too, because I mean, to find out what happened to the Baroness.
The story of Max and Elsa.
Yes. Because I also feel like, no spoiler alert, but I feel like something probably negative maybe happened to Max at the end of the show.
Yeah, I look at Max as kind of the hero at the end. That's how I play it. Is I'm part of the rescue. So that's what I feel.
Yeah. We also have to talk about costumes. Hanna, your costumes are, oh my gosh, they're so Baroness. They're perfect. You definitely have some great costumes that have been fun. Brooks, you have some great costumes as well. And then we pulled a third one for you, and it's a repeat of one. It was so funny because I was like, oh, I think he either has worn this or somebody has worn this close to his body size. And then you're like, yeah, I wore that in musical comedy murders.
Yeah. The blue suit we got from the rental place just didn't fit in any way or fashion, and so had to pull a blue dark suit, and it was my musical comedy murders, which is the best suit in the entire. In the little theater owns, I think.
In a shrine under glass after
the show. It should be under glass.
Yeah, we can just have you wear it at any point. Liz says, can't wait to see the show. Liz, we can't wait for you to see the show either. Such a great job. Jeff Wyrick, stash game equals 1 unit. I know, that's hilarious. I don't know. Is that German? That's probably
100.
100.
Oh my gosh, it's like gangsta. It's not German. I was like, 1 unit. What's a unit?
His sideburn game is
in German.
See, Jeff, you're too cool for me. You're too cool for me. I'm so stuck with German words. I'm like, I don't know what that means. We of course want to talk about our amazing production team. Of course, Jennifer Akins, who's our music director, Carla Fristo, our assistant director, Velvet Night production assistant, Tiffany Lauer. We've already talked about her, how she's been our costume coordinator. And then we've talked, of course, about our set already. It's so fun at the theater today because we're all just kind of getting things ready. The lobby's getting ready. Programs just got delivered. We're getting the headshots up. It's always fun to be a part of a show and have that buzz right before the audience because no one has seen the show yet. So it's I always describe it as a director like, okay, I'm giving birth, but I'm giving birth to where everyone's watching everything that you just did. And so it's like, oh, I hope they laugh at that, or I hope they cry.
Yeah.
I hope they find that really cute. And so it's a little unnerving, but out of your control. So you just got to trust in your actors and they know what to do. You guys all know what to do. And this whole week we've had great rehearsals. I felt like in a weird way, we had a couple bobbles last night, nothing big, but it was good because it kind of shook us up to remind us like, oh, we got to be focused to go into this every night. And I think that we're going to be so strong for tonight's preview performance. Audrey Moore, one of our Academy parents who a child is in our show, says, I'm picking up a kiddo from school right now who can't wait to get on stage tonight. Thanks to Brooks and Hannah for setting a good example for our kids. I love.
Oh, we love Graham.
We love Graham.
I'll tell a Graham story. This is the other night we were rehearsing our bows, so we're lined up and Hannah and I go before the kids, and I turned and looked back at the kids and I said, if you guys get a bigger applause than us, I'm gonna be so mad. And Graham just straight, so we're gonna boo. And Graham just straight face said, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a bigger applause than you. And touche, Graham.
We were blocking that. The kids come out and on stage he goes, okay, that's it. That's everyone. Like he didn't want Captain to come out. Maria, he was like, no, everyone, kids get final bow, right? And I was like, well, we have 2 more people that need to come. I love that. I love it. But let's talk about the kids because, man, the kids have been working hard. Like first rehearsal, we started with them with the Lonely Goat Herd song. The boys, of course, aren't double cast. All of our girls are double cast. So they have been, sometimes double rehearsals and trying to, be up here. They were up here during the day, during the summer. And you guys have a little bit of interaction with them on stage. It's like anytime the kids come in, it's y'all's characters are like, okay, we got to go now. Like, peace out, which is fun. Of course, Brooks, you have a little bit more with them involved with the festival. How has it been working with kids? I know, Hannah, you worked with kids, of course, out in Texas. They had some kids in that. But Brooks, as far as an ALT show, I don't think have been a part of a younger cast. There was, of course, some older kids in Legally Blonde and stuff like that. But how has that been for you guys?
Yeah, I haven't done a show with the kids, and so last time I did a show with a bunch of kids was for Linda Hughes back in 2000. We did Big River. That's the last time I worked with kids on stage, and they've been great. They're funny. They'll give it right back, so I like that.
Oh yeah, Hannah's like the
they love Hanna.
They all want to sit on Hannah's lap and cuddle with Hannah. Like last night, Gretel was passed out during my notes on Hannah. Like I was just like, look over and she was asleep, like just gone.
And that's so funny because when we first started the show, like I remember there was one scene that it was my first time working with the kids and I came on stage and I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Evie, but I said something to them and she goes, I don't like you. Okay. But they've been wonderful. They're so hardworking and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
And they just call me Uncle Max hey, Uncle Max, from the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
That's it. Brooks, did they know that you do magic? Have you done any magic?
No, because Hannah made the mistake. Hannah and Hunter made the mistake early on. Let's pick them up and jump up and down with them. And now that's all they want to do. I'm experienced with kids enough to know, had I done magic for them 3 weeks ago, it would never end. So maybe the final Saturday night performance.
Strike party. You're like, hey, kids.
Strike party, you might see some magic.
Nice. I like that a lot. I made the mistake of telling Gretel and Marta that when they exit with Frau Schrader, who Carrie plays, I said, whenever you guys exit, like go to the kitchen, like pretend to get a cookie. They literally were like, oh, Carrie's going to give us a cookie every night. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Carrie's like, no, they ask for the cookie every night.
I walked in one night last week and they said, they said, Uncle Max, why isn't the butler giving us any snacks? I told Jeff Pickens, sorry, man, they need some snacks.
I should have said figuratively, not literally. You're just going to pretend to go get snacks. Invisible acting. Callie says, Brooks is the best magician ever. Nice.
Thanks, Callie.
Nice.
You should watch some more magicians.
With the show, of course, Hannah, you just performed in Texas, obviously. But Brooks, it's been a little while for you. Baskerville for you. How do you feel about being in front of an audience?
Oh, I'm ready. It's exciting. I love to hear the laughter from a crowd. It gets me fired up. It's one of my favorite things ever. So it's been a year and a half since that happened. So I'm super excited. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And really nervous because I'm singing, but I'm really excited.
You're doing fantastic.
You did great.
Yes, exactly. Hannah, for you, with of course, you had Texas with the huge amphitheater out there. What's it like to be in a little more smaller theater than the amphitheater?
Gosh, it's just so different. Air conditioning is so great. But no, I almost prefer the more intimate theater, because you can really see the audience reacting, and you can see their faces light up when something happens, and that just makes the experience so much more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Opposed to in Texas, where they're just like all the way up the canyon wall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're like in the back waving at you. We're like,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
We want to remind all of our audiences and all of our viewers, of course, we're talking about Sound of Music. We open tonight, September 16th through October 3rd. We're talking about these lovely Von Trapp children. That is one of our cast there with our Maria and Captain Von Trapp. Here they are again. Those curtain costumes are fantastic. They match the curtains. Those of you who are coming, we want to remind you that there are 4 performances out of our 11 performances that we are requiring masks. And we've had so many people thanking us for that. We have cast members' grandparents that couldn't come unless the whole, audience was masked, or we have other patrons who cannot come to the theater unless everyone is fully masked. So we want to remind you that those 4 performances that will be fully masked audience, and no exceptions, like do not pass go, do not enter the theater, are this coming Saturday, September 18th, then again on Friday, the September 24th, Sunday, September 26th, and Thursday, September 30th. Of course, all of our other shows, we highly encourage masks as well, because we have, kids in the show, and we want to protect our volunteers and staff as best as we can. And we should mention that tonight we have a huge thank you to Amarillo National Bank. They sponsored our 5 for Live theater, where the tickets today were $5 for the audience members. We're helping get people who've never been a part of a live theater performance, and so they'll be coming to the show tonight. And so, Hannah, do you remember the very first show you ever saw, like that you were an audience member of?
Ever was probably Nutcracker at
Really?
Lone
Yeah.
Star Ballet, I believe. Yeah.
Nice. What about you?
It was a ballet.
Do you remember your first show?
Wow, it might be the same. It might have been Nutcracker, but I think the first one I can vividly remember, I saw Velveteen Rabbit when I was in elementary school. I think it was at MO College. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So that's what's so fun about this show, because a lot of family members will be coming, of course, but also tonight, that when people ask them that question, they'll say now Sound of Music, because some people will be experiencing live theater tonight for the first time, which is very exciting. We of course want to remind everyone that Thursday performances are at 7:30, Fridays and Saturdays at 8 o'clock, and Sunday matinees at 2:30. This is of course being performed at our ALT Alan Shinkle's Main Stage Theater 2019 Civic Circle. And if you don't have tickets, you still can get tickets. You, of course, want to call our box office at 806-355-9991, or visit, of course, our website, AmarilloLittleTheater.org. I think tonight and tomorrow are sold out. There's still some tickets for this Saturday, for this weekend. I know next Sunday is already sold out. I think the following Sunday is close to being sold out. So it's get your tickets now, guys, if you want to come see this show, which you do. You want to come see it. You guys, you saw right before we started, but we want to let everyone know, while you're here, visit, of course, the bar and get yourself the Lonely Goat Herd. It's our specialty cocktail for the show, Western Sun Lemon Vodka with the pink lemonade and club soda. I love that image there. It's a great picture. Yes, supplied by Reed Beverage. We want to thank Reed Beverage for that as well. They're always so good to us. They're awesome. With the show, guys, what are you hoping audiences leave the theater thinking about, or what do you hope that once the audience sees our show and they leave, what are you hoping that they come away with?
I'll go. One, I think we just need some happiness in the world today, and there's some scenes you watch and you're just like, oh, that just makes me feel happy, because it's just a good, uplifting show. But also, there's like another layer below it about standing up for and doing what's right. And I think my character, Hannah's character, kind of illustrate Nazis didn't creep across Europe because everybody was Nazis. It's because so many people were selfish and indifferent and looking out for just themselves. And I think that's a pretty big lesson in it of looking out and doing the right thing and not just protecting yourself. But also it just makes you feel good and happy, and the music's great.
Yeah, very true. What about you, Hannah?
Oh gosh. I mean, I personally experience every night in the finale when we're, no spoilers, when we're singing. I get emotional every single night at the end of the show because it's just like there's so much joy and it's almost an out of body experience for me. And I've had that experience on several other shows, just being an audience member. And I think that's one of the most magical parts of theater is you're completely immersed in it, and it leaves you with this, and it lasts until you go home, and just this lightness in you that you can kind of escape for a minute.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful for sure. And to think about, you're exactly right. With this show has so many underlying themes of standing up for what you believe in, and being a part of your family and protecting your family, of course. But there's so much going on in our world today with so many things and ideas and stuff like that. So it just kind of helps reiterate of taking care of yourself and climbing every mountain, that every obstacle that comes your way, that you can do that. You can climb a mountain, but you just have to take one step at a time, and with the support of your family and your faith and your friends, that you can overcome anything. And I really hope audiences get that from our show, and especially you guys know, of course, our final moment of the show. I really hope that comes across, and
It's beautiful.
Can speak to that. So it's always nerve-wracking whenever you have something and then you're like, hopefully this works.
Yeah.
Or we hope this set works, and hope this concept of these things work. And so,
Jason, if we don't get laughs, if me and Brooks don't get laughs,
I'm walking off the stage.
Oh, you will. You'll get plenty. Or at least me in the back going, ha 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 ha.
At least we have Jason's laugh.
My chipmunk giggle. It'll be there.
It carried us this far.
That is. We've been hearing it for a month.
We also, I forgot to mention, after the show, as you guys come see, of course, Sound of Music, we want to encourage you to go visit the Royal Bar. This month, their featured cocktail is the Texas Rosebud, where proceeds of that drink go back to ALT. The Royal Bar is, of course, in the Palace Coffee in Wolflin Village, right around the corner. It's a great spot to, before the show, get a drink or coffee. After the show, get a drink or coffee, talk about the show. So we want to thank our friends over at Palace and the Royal Bar for coming up with a great drink idea, and some of those proceeds coming back to the theater. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys so much for taking time out of your afternoon to join us on Thursdays at 3. And I'm excited to see you guys later tonight when we perform The Sound of Music for the first time for our audiences. Some people this will be their very first time in our building. And I'm so proud that we're going to be able to present such a great show to them. I'm very, very excited. Oh, Ellie Peter says, coming all the way back from OSU to come see the show.
Ellie.
We love Ellie.
We love you, Ellie. Rob Attaway says, break a leg, you too. It's so true. And as well to you, Rob, break a leg to the whole cast and crew. And Melissa Hewitt Henderson Taylor's mom there says, break a leg tonight as well. We're so excited. It's going to be such a fun night at the theater, a fun weekend, fun 3 weeks. You guys want to come see Sound of Music. If you don't have your tickets already, get your tickets before they're gone.
Just to see the kids. They're amazing.
And the adults are pretty amazing as well, I have to say. So don't forget, we're talking about Sound of Music, September 16th through October 3rd. Come see this production. It's going to be absolutely, we have this in one of our commercial spots, but make your memories with your families. Make memories of coming to the theater with them now. Bring the kids to the theater, bring them to come. It's such a family friendly show. The kids are probably already going to know some of the music. They'll be familiar with it. So come check it out. Oh, Dennis says, tell Brooks to shave that thing that is growing on his face.
Dennis, this makes the character.
Wouldn't that be funny if you accidentally shaved your eyebrows? Like what? Oh,
and then draw them in.
Yeah.
Wrong thing.
Dennis says, see y'all next Thursday. We can't wait to see you as well.
Can't wait to see you, Dennis.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys in a couple hours for call time, and then of course our performance tonight. Thank you, Hannah and Brooks, again. Thank you, Brooks's mustache, for also making an appearance. And
you're very welcome.
See you all next week for Thursdays at 3. If we don't see you this coming weekend at Sound of Music, we appreciate you guys so much. See y'all soon.